All right, we are live. How's everybody doing? Josh Knoll here with Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. We are coming to you live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So this is pretty cool. I'm joined by Matthew Eichmann. He is the National Practice Leader for Qualified Plan Advisors. Matthew, how you doing?
I'm good, Josh. Thanks for having me with you on all of those platforms you just referenced. That's great.
Right. Well, Matthew, I want to introduce you to people in my network. We've been working on this 401k series for the past several weeks. It's come together fantastic. I'm very happy with the content, and that is in large part to your contributions. So would you mind to just kind of give a brief description of who you are, what you do for somebody that may be new to this content?
Well, sure. It's the retirement practice leader for qualified plan advisors. What that really means is we're working with a network of retirement plan advisors across the country and making sure that they're looking at retirement plans in a little different way than most do. This isn't like managing some sort of endowment or somebody's separate account where they just want you to look at what the returns look like. We're really looking at behavior. We're looking at the degree to which we can get employees not to just invest well, but also save well. And then I think part of what you and I have been talking about is even outside of that, how do they become more financially well? So, I get to work with you and a variety of our other advisors in that context, and it's pretty fulfilling. My background is as an ERISA attorney. So, a lot of time I'm spent trying to interpret exactly what the government wants or requires in a particular situation. But what we're doing at Qualified Plan Advisors is we're thinking more practically about the real purpose of retirement plans, and that's to get people ready for retirement. And so it's fulfilling to be able to do that. And again, I appreciate you having me with you today.
Well, and to explain a little bit of the tie here, so I own and operate Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. It's located in Fairhope, Alabama, which is about 30 miles north of the Gulf of Mexico, down here in what is referred to as Lower Alabama. But I am part of a much larger network of independent financial advisors across much of the United States at this point, that it goes under the umbrella of Prime Capital Investment Advisors. A part of Prime Capital Investment Advisors, I have access to the Qualified Plan Division called Qualified Plan Advisors, of which Matthew laid out his role there, and it provides just tremendous teamwork and support to an independent advisor like me, running around here servicing the clients that I service. So Matthew, as we have put together this series, really what we were trying to do is we wanted to come together and discuss, the top of mind issues for 401k plan sponsors and business owners as it was. And then all of a sudden, COVID hit. And some of those topics came through in a little bit of a timeless fashion, such as benchmarking. That's always timeless. But some of the issues were brand new on our plate. You and I have discussed the CARES Act. There's several things that came apart that we had to kind of pivot. Do you mind to discuss a little bit of some of the fluidity that we've dealt with and how we've accomplished that? Because I think again, with your contributions, we've done a really good job of staying up to date on top of mind issues for 401k plan sponsors.
Well, I think the biggest challenge probably for a retirement plan sponsor right now is to try to decide, like, what of all of these various developments rises to the level that it should be a priority in the midst of all the other things that, a retirement plan sponsor or a benefits manager or a director of human resources has to be handling. Like, think about all the other challenges that many people are facing, Josh. And so you see, this IRS notice and that IRS notice and this guidance from the Department of Labor and this CARES Act development and this proposed regulation and this litigation outcome. Like, how would you possibly look at all that and be able to pick through and say, ooh, this needs our attention now, but this doesn't? So I think that's probably the most critical aspect for us right now, as you kind of mentioned on the screen too, is how do you chart a course as a fiduciary to move through, let's just say, even the rest of 2020, and then also as we move into early 2021, how do you sift through all the noise and chart that course?
Oh, 100%. And so, Matthew, what I want to do is point people to our digital hub. You'll see the scroll along the bottom of this live feed, my website, gulfcoastfa.com, and then /401k-project. What you'll find there is a variety of content pieces, podcasts, audio, video, written articles that Matthew heavily contributed to. All the things, it's all brought into one central depository to where you can find the things that are probably should be, if they're not, should be top of mind for you as we navigate 2020 and beyond, quite honestly, because Matthew, as you and I have discussed, it's not like this is going away anytime soon.
Right.
So the other thing I wanted to point out too, while you all are there, be sure to register for our upcoming webinar. It's next week, August 20th at 2 p.m. Central. And the name of the webinar is the 5 big items that you need to tackle this year. You've heard Matthew and I discuss a few of them. And Matthew, I'm going to turn it over to you because we intentionally made it 5 because quite honestly, you could make it 50 how this year has gone, right? But we wanted to help people cut through and clarify. So I wanted to turn over to you before we end this live broadcast on that note.
Well, I think so. And we'll leave a little bit of mystery in this rather than disclose all 5 of those for our current conversation. I think for somebody who's kind of stuck through and is still listening, I do want to make sure we answer this question. Okay, if I'm a retirement plan fiduciary, or if I work with one or I support one, what are the items that as a fiduciary should occupy my attention the rest of the year? And there's really 4 just merely in that fiduciary sector, if you will, or that fiduciary column. It's the CARES Act details. So not just what did the company do, but what's this going to look like now that we start getting into the administrative issues and figure out what 2021 looks like with respect to loans and distributions and potential repayments. The second one of those is litigation and following and tracking what's happening, continuing to happen on the litigation front. Not that all these entities out there are necessarily going to be sued or find themselves in court, but what do we learn from that litigation, right, as we continue to work through that. Number 3, the Department of Labor said very recently, and this is not any way related really to COVID-19, but it's going to be easier for plan sponsors to send out information electronically. So this new electronic disclosure regulation on the one hand is excellent, but on the other hand, it requires some preliminary steps. So fiduciaries need to start taking those preliminary steps right now, and I know we'll be continuing to expand on that. And then finally, and this is the big one, Josh, and that is it's a financial wellness commitment. How do we put into place a real good program where we're demonstrating our commitment as an organization to the financial wellness of our people, and how do we use the retirement plan as kind of the backbone of that, but expand beyond that to give employees what they truly need. So, that's not the 5 big things for people to know about per se, but I would say from merely a fiduciary perspective, charting that course forward, I would want to make sure that over the next 4, 5, 6 months, that all my fellow trustees or my committee members are on those specific topics.
Perfect. Matthew, always very well said. I would like to invite everyone to, if you're consuming some of the content that we're putting out there, know that we're doing it, and the goal is to help. We're here to help answer questions, help clarify. We're really all in all this. We're in all this together. And then 2, once you're comfortable, feel free to reach out to us. We are here. The content is really intended to be an introduction, help you kind of get your arms around all the different pieces that are going about right now. But sometimes you have individual and specific needs. We're here to help. So, you can find our contact info all over the place, particularly on the media sites that we're on right now and also on the landing page. So gulfcoastfa.com/401k-project. Matthew Eichmann, I appreciate you, man. I'm glad you warm up quicker with your jumper than I do. I have to warm up a little bit. You come out and were you a shooting guard or a making guard? That's what my coach would have asked if he had met you.
I was a passing guard. Anybody who's ever played with me knows that there's no scoring or shooting for me. That's for sure. So.
Love it. Well, very good. Hey, have a great day. Thank you all for joining us. We'll talk to you again very soon.
Great. Thanks, Josh. Really appreciate it.